Hello, everybody. How's it going? And welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. Welcome to this fucked up mess. I have no idea if this is going to work. I have no idea how this is going to work. I feel a little bit bad for the Imperium Romanium. But the Persians have units. Okay. Although, no, the Romans do apparently have units. I just can't fucking see them. How many units do they actually have? What's up? Augustus. Oh, fuck, they have a shit ton of units. So, this is a mod that allows you to restore certain things to the game. I have a feeling I'm going to make this crash. So I've restored the Roman Empire, somewhat of the Persians, Qing China. Ethiopia now owns all of Africa because I united Africa, and apparently Ethiopia is the one that takes it all the fuck over. The Nordic Council, and technically the former Russian Empire, even though it's still communist for some reason. Not really sure on that one. There's no options for the New World, so I couldn't do anything over here, although I assume things are not colonized anymore that were. Oh, Imperium Romanium owns the Caribbean, even though Rome never actually fucking got there. Did they just own all of, Britain's possessions? And France's possessions? That's what it looks like. I don't know. Let's start this game. Ethiopia and Romania signed a white peace, so that's nice. They're not trying to kill each other anymore. That's very kind of them. Oh, there's the Imperium Romanian troops. I was wondering where the fuck they were. Oh my god, there are so many of them. The Soviet Union has quite a few troops as well. I did Excuse me. I feel bad for the Poland-Lithuanian Commonwealth. They have no units. And they're just going to get their asses kicked. The Scandinavian Council actually does have an army, so I'm actually surprised on that one. Qing China, I would also assume, has a pretty decent army. I feel bad for Japan at this point. The Chinese are actually powerful again, or at least semi-powerful. And of course, we have Battle Royale on. It goes off in 3 months or 6 months. I guess we'll find out. I forget which one I marked it as. But yeah, so the world's a little bit different. Mostly interested to see if Rome can just take everybody out, because they have a stupidly huge army. Although the Soviets have 207 divisions, which is quite impressive. 301 for Mr. Mussolini here, although he does have a superior number by far of factories. The Germans are just not going to fare very well. Poor Hitler over here is probably shitting his fucking pants. Mussolini essentially lived out the dream of the German Reich before the German Reich could even sneeze about it. So, you know. Persia, led by this lovely fellow, has 12 divisions. Not going to last very long. Ethiopia has 20 divisions, but they only have 31 factories because Africa is a really shitty place to be. I'm so sorry, but it is. Though there are a lot of Roman troops stuck in Africa for some reason. Excuse me. I think it's because if you don't form Africa, Rome gets the entire northern parts of Africa, which does make sense. I mean, I did kind of form this fucker kind of fucked up, so I'm so sorry for that. Same with Persia. Ireland declared war on Northern Ireland. Oh, here we go. It's all kicking off now. I should just enter this one. So, Persia is at war with Ethiopia. Imperial Romania declared war on the Saudis. Looks like the Soviets are taking up the Poles, which kind of makes sense. Germany looks like it's going after... If I can fucking... Oh my god, everybody's just fucking going off here. I don't actually know who they're going after. Who are you at war with, Germany? Oh, the Netherlands, of course. You're fighting in Utrecht. I think the Romans are also going after the Dutch, though. Nope. It's just the Dutch don't have any of their shit anymore. And for some reason, they own Amsterdam, I think. Oh, no, that's not who owns Amsterdam. Never mind. Go, Germany, go. Good luck, you poor son of a bitch. Who are they declaring war? Oh, so they're declaring war on the Scandinavians now. But the Scandinavians actually do have a little bit of a military, so I'm wondering if they'll actually defend somewhat okay, at least on the crossing from Copenhagen. They could actually possibly defend against the Reich. The Czechs are going after what's left of the Kingdom of Hungary. The Romanians are like scared shitless here, and I don't blame them. The Hungarians don't have much of a military, but I mean, you know, it's not terrible. Oh, the Ethiopians declared war on the Saudis, who are almost dead anyway. The Persians are at war with the Soviets now. The Qing China, who are you at war with, China? Oh, you are at war with Bhutan. Okay. So are the Indians. Poor Bhutan. Oh my God. They're not going to last very long here. They're under attack from all sides. It's just whether the Raj gets the land or the Chinese get the land. That's really the only deciding factor here. It looks like the Raj probably. Their troops seem to be better equipped for this, and they're still fighting. But yeah, Bhutan's not going to last very long. I'm sorry to say. How many troops do the Chinese have? Qing China, 108 units. Okay. So like a respectable amount. The Raj, now that it's free from Britain's grasp, has 11 divisions. It is independent. Oh, there we go. Qing China declared war on Persia. Oh, they do have a border. I was like, how the fuck? But they do have a border. Okay. Sure. Again, it's going to be a battle of Imperium Romanium versus the Soviet Union versus Qing China. That's how this is going to go. I'm so sorry. I'm surprised the Persians have held on so long against the Soviet war machine. I thought they would be crushed, considering they only had, what, like 12 divisions, I think we saw? Yeah, so I'm shocked they've lasted as long as they have. To be fair, they're now at war with the Chinese, and most of the units are now surrounded up here, although the Chinese are not going to get much of Persia. Where did Persia move their capital to? Oh, to Cyprus. Okay. They may not capitulate? I don't really know. I mean, Siam's fucked. We can see that. I don't think they have any units. I'm pretty sure Siam... Oh, no, they have a few units. They do have units. They are fighting. There's some on the Malayan Peninsula there. I just don't think they have very many units. They're fighting British Malaya. Oh, that's why. So British Malaya. Empire of Japan has declared war on British Malaya. They've also taken the Philippines. I have to say, the Empire of Japan looking still pretty damn good there. They're still doing well. The Dutch East Indies and Australia are at war over in Papua New Guinea. Australia is winning that war, obviously. I feel bad for Siam. I don't know how they're still alive, though. Oh, I know why they're still alive. Qing China just declared war on the British Raj. Ah, that would do it. That would do it. Imperium Romania declared war on Persia. Yeah, I saw that coming. Imperium declared war on Oman. Who did they declare war on? The Raj? Yeah, the Raj. Okay. I was going to say, they're not going to declare war on Rome yet. It's still career suicide. Scandinavia is still holding out against the invading Germans, though just barely, to be totally fair. Oh, excuse me, my God. Apparently I don't have any kind of, like... You ever get, like, just, you know, when you wake up in the morning and your throat's just all fuckeried? That's what I have today. Okay. Yemen's going to fall pretty quick, I'd imagine, to the Romans. I don't know how good the Roman units are, though. Part of me wants to click on them. I already have, so it's too late. Let's just zoom out. How good are what you are? Okay. How good are what you're producing? You are not producing a whole lot, to be fair. I guess the constant war and the needing to supply a shit ton of units is probably taking a toll. Oh yeah, they're down in artillery and guns. And support equipment, too. Wow. Not good. The Soviets could take that and run with it. That's possible. Oh, shit. The Romans are at war with the Ethiopians. Have the Ethiopians, like, upped their division count at all, really? 23 now. And it looks like all of them are here. And most of them are going to get probably surrounded in Israel and Jordan. So that's not good for Ethiopia. The only problem is that's going to be a very long conflict because there is a lot of shit to conquer. Like, agonizingly long amounts of shit to conquer there. I mean, Ethiopia is losing on all fronts here. All Rome has to do is cut them off here. All they have to do is cut. There you go. That's the bulk of Ethiopia's army is now cut off, fighting for Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, because that's the last thing they can really have. They are trying to retreat, though. To be fair, they are trying to get away. Some of them will. Some of them probably won't. Tel Aviv's been lost, so all these units are dead. And there's what? Oh no, Tel Aviv's still there. I thought they lost Tel Aviv. They have not lost Tel Aviv. British Malaya, Soviet Union on Scandinavia. What's left of it? British Raj has been annexed. Ooh, that's really ugly. Ew. German Reich on the Czechs. Saw that coming. Soviets declared on the Romanian pocket. So the Romanians at least are only fighting on one front. Oh my god, they're actually expanding. They're almost to Odessa. What the fuck? Hold on a minute. You were not ready for that war, were you? Soviets. The Czechs and the Germans. The Czechs making gains. That's sad. The Czechs actually doing okay. They're gaining ground in Germany. And the German army is like on the front, so it's not like they're not there fighting. Like, they are winning on a lot of the battles now, though. So I think that Czech victory was very short-lived, but still. The Romans now fighting still for Tel Aviv there, but they're also fighting for the Suez at this point, too. Oh, the Chinese declared war on the Japanese now. So we've got a Japanese war. They're going to quickly sweep Korea. I don't know where the Japanese are. They had a fairly big army on the peninsula, but I guess not anymore. British Malaya's dead, so now they're probably going to move their army back to defend Korea if they're smart. Oh, they also have to defend Malaya. They own the southern part of the peninsula in Singapore, which is a pretty vital area. They're also at war with the Dutch East Indies, who are now independent and have no fucking army. Like, not even one. They don't even have one division. The Japanese could land here, take technically Jakarta, but whatever, and wipe them out. Completely wipe them out. But they are probably a little bit distracted now at war with the Chinese. Once the Romans cross the Suez, it's basically all over. Soviet Union declared war on Czechoslovakia, which makes sense. The Czechs were holding out, kind of, but they won't now. Now they've got the Soviets on their butts. Soviets, 209 divisions. They haven't really been producing very much. 303 for the Romans as well, so they haven't been producing much either. Are they down on shit as well? Is that why? I want to know. Logistics. Yes, the Soviets are also out of equipment. Interesting. But the thing is they're going to go to war against the Chinese here sooner than later, and the Germans. So that's not going to help them very much in recovering that. So, yeah. The Czechs, though, are getting absolutely slammed down by the advancing Soviets. Like, there is no contest here about who is winning this battle. Look at this encirclement. That's disgusting. Oh my god, so many Czechs dead. 200,000 Czechs in this very short war. The Germans have lost 54,000 total, so that's quite a lot actually for the Germans. The Soviet Union declared war on Japan. Really? Oh, I guess yeah. Fair enough. They couldn't try to invade the home islands. I mean, there's not anything on the home islands right now. Their entire army is... I don't actually know where their entire army is. How many units do you have here, Hito? You only have 39 divisions. That's actually quite sad. Excuse me. I'm shocked the Soviets didn't go to war against the Germans, though. They could once they have no land border with the Japanese. That's possible. The Japanese have a really good navy, though, so it's going to be really difficult to invade the home islands just because of their navy. That's going to be difficult. What? They signed a white peace and then immediately went back and fought again. So they took Korea. Okay. Oh, the Americans are finally doing something. The Federal Republic of Central America has formed. It's at war with Colombia, and I think it's losing. Dominican Republic and Haiti are still at war. Dominican Republic is kind of winning that one. Rome owns Newfoundland. God damn. The Romans are actually getting pushed back a little bit here. I'm a little bit concerned for them. All things considered, there's not that many divisions holding the Sinai. If they could just push into Port Said and then south to the Suez and through Cairo, they'd cut this entire contingent off. They don't have a lot of divisions on this front, though, and I don't really know why. They should be throwing a lot more divisions and a lot more weight at this, just to get this done and over with. But hey, whatever. I'm just a fucking pleb, who knows? They had 20 divisions. So the Tel Aviv retreat was actually quite successful. They only lost 3 divisions during that whole shebang. That's pretty good. Oh, they are at war. The Germans and the Soviets are now fighting a war in Scandinavia and on the mainland. The mainland is not good. Look at all those encirclements. Oh my god. They've cornered them, a bunch of them in Krakow, Prasov, and then a couple other little pockets. Oh my god, Germany. Hitler, your Reich. It's falling apart. Your poor, poor Reich. Are they still fighting down here? Yeah, but the front's not moving. I think the Chinese are concerned because the Soviets. I don't blame them. Ooh, if they take all of Germany, they're gonna come close to matching these guys in factories here. That's not good. Oh, they've pushed them back to the Suez. Now it's a fight for the Suez. Again, once they push past the Suez, it's pretty much over. The Suez is that last choke point that they can kind of try to hold on to. And it looks like the Romans are flooding more units down there. Which I don't blame them. They should. They really should flood more units down there. Oh, Germany, you're getting eaten alive. Look at that big, salient right there in southern Germany. Oh, and they just encircled a bunch of them, too. Oh, God. Oh, Germany, you're just falling apart. Excuse me. I would assume the Soviets will declare war on the Chinese next. They're their next door neighbors, and they're weaker than the Romans by numbers. Jesus, Argentina, what the hell? That's scary. The U.S. is pushed into Colombia now. So that's interesting. They've invaded Colombia. The U.S., of course, most powerful in North America. Big fucking surprise there, right? There's no option in this mod to change anything in the New World, so it's all Old World stuff. So that's what's interesting here. I don't even know how the hell I'm going to title this video. I honestly have no idea. It's kind of a clusterfuck. You know what I mean? It's Rome versus the Soviets versus Qing China versus Ethiopia, Africa. It just doesn't make any goddamn sense. Where the fuck are they going? They're just taking all their units off the front there. I don't know where the hell they're going. Are they preparing for an actual battle with the Soviets already? I don't think that's coming for a little bit. They're holding the Suez. I gotta give them credit. They don't have very many units, but they are holding the Suez. Yep, there's the war with Qing China. German Reich has been annexed into the Soviet Union. So that's gone. I don't know if that'll be a quick war. I mean, the Soviets or the Chinese have nothing on the front, but neither the Soviets yet. So, you know what I mean? All their armies are in different theaters. They're trying to fight off a Japanese invasion of Shanghai here. Because the Japanese are just really good at just hopping in. Also, the Dutch East Indies are somehow still alive. I really want the Japanese just to hurry the fuck up and take them out. Just naval invade Makassar, and that's it. That'll probably be it. I would imagine. Yeah, that's literally all you need to do. You need to take one more freaking tile, basically, with any victory points at all. Also, the Soviet Union is losing some, and so is Qing China. So that's very interesting. There's invasions happening, the Chinese invading the Soviets and vice versa. I imagine the Soviets will turn around that war on the Chinese once their army is in place, because it is bigger. I don't know if the Chinese are having issues with supply. Yeah, a little bit. Not as much, though, as the Soviets. But they're having issues. They are having issues. The Romans have stopped pushing altogether on the Suez. They just aren't. No, they're attacking it. Never mind. They should naval invade Alexandria or something, or even Tobruk, and invade from behind. Because they're just throwing men at it and just hoping that something works, and nothing's working, obviously. Just, I don't know. Fucking Romans being dumbasses. What's gonna happen is if they're not careful, the Romans are gonna get outshined by the Soviets here, and the favorite to win, the Romanian or Romans here, Imperium Romanium, will lose. Ooh, the Japanese have a gross invasion there of Shanghai. Wow. Ooh, China. If you can't even hold off the Japanese from invading a port, you're not going to hold off the Soviet military. No way in hell. Oh yeah, that's a big fight on all fronts, and there's a lot of red there for the Chinese. Ooh, the Japanese even invading up through Malaya into Siam here. Oh man, they're just running friggin' wild. Oh, that's not good at all. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. At least the Soviets then will immediately be declaring war on the Japanese again, because the Japanese will take some of the land. They do have enough war support at this point to take at least a couple of provinces. Ooh, that's just gross. Who thought that was a good idea? Ugh. Brazil, just give up already. Fuck. God damn, it's over. The U.S., I think, is invading them at this point. Is Peru invading Argentina? No, they are not. They're invading Brazil. Like everybody else. Okay. Good lord. One day there'll be a breakthrough, maybe. And then I'll be happy. What's Scotland doing, anyway? Oh, they have units. Okay. They have an army of 4 units. 2 mountain divisions, 2 infantry. They actually have an army. They could be invaded. It is a possibility. How do they own all of that? What the fuck? That's very confusing. I click on Scotland. Oh, there we go. Click on Glasgow. That's fine. Oh, did I click on that? No, it. Now Ireland looks all fucker. Looks all fuckeried. I didn't mean to make Ireland look fuck. Somebody take over Ireland so it doesn't look stupid anymore. God damn it. I clicked something. I didn't mean to click it, I swear. Yeah, now they're losing this. Oh, Brazil did get annexed. See, now they're losing this fight. Just take all of your units and throw it at it. Just toss them at that problem. And cross the Suez. Once you cross the Suez, it's fine. It's all you need to do is cross the Suez. You don't need to do anything else. Hell, if anything, right now you should invade the Soviets, because if you don't now, while they're distracted with China, I don't think you're going to get the chance to beat them again. I think they're going to win. Have they made any more units? They're at 217. Imperium Romanium at 405. Okay, well, you've made a little bit more units than they have, but units are also very underprepared. Wait, did they move units off of the? Are you fucking serious? They just moved the units off of of the Suez, and now the Romans have the Suez. And they've got 10 units just sitting in Cairo for no goddamn reason. Why are they just sitting in Cairo? What a dumb place to be. Like, yeah, they're not going to be able to push into Cairo, but they can push south of Cairo now. They can flood into Africa at this point. You just opened up the floodgates. They're going to lose Port Said now. This isn't going to end well for you anymore. You were defending so well, Ethiopia, you fucking idiots. Why would you take units off of the Suez? Yeah, you might want to move those units out of Cairo and defend the front, because otherwise you're going to get surrounded at Cairo. Because you're going to lose Port Said here in a minute. Once you lose that, there's only Alexandria. Otherwise, if they take El Alamein, they're going to take Alexandria and surround everything here. Look, they just pocketed 3 of your units. They've surrounded 3 of your units. You're already fucked. You are pre-fucked, sir. The Romans are broken through, and that's it. They want their old shit back. They took Cairo. Alexandria now is a retreating port as these units desperately try to leave. Oh my god. There's a fight for El Alamein. It's not going too well for them. Yeah, the Romans are just pushing through now. The Romans now just really have to push south, take Addis Ababa. That'll really hurt them. Yeah, see, look, yeah. Ethiopia's taking a lot more casualties, though, than the Romans. I'm surprised. I thought the Romans throwing themselves at the Suez would take a lot more casualties, but I guess not. You have 3 units surrounded here, guys. What are you doing? Take them out. God, don't let them retreat. Don't let them get away. Kill them. Murder them brutally. You dumb idiots. Look, you've already got a couple of years. Oh, no, never mind. They've actually surrounded them kind of there. Oh, no, they haven't. They'll still have supply. Oh, my. They're pushing pretty fast. They've already taken Tobruk. Like, Northern Africa's falling quickly. I mean, it makes sense that they're going to put up the most fight down here. It's closest to their capital. I mean, it makes sense. That's where I would put up most of my fight. Oh, my God, China. Jesus Christ. They're actually re-invading the Malayan Peninsula, though. And they have cut down this quite a bit. And they've taken back Shanghai. But they have this fucking shit at Qingdao. And they've re-invaded Korea. Wait. Oh, that's the Soviets. Oh, shit. The Japanese have invaded the Soviet Union by landing at Busan, trying to take the peninsula back. And they're desperately trying to hold on to this little island. Good lord. The invasion of Japan is literally just because nobody decided to make a ferry from Busan to this island. I'd just like to point that out. It's the only reason Japan homeland does not get invaded every time. Oh man, the Romans. I mean, I guess, like, finally, you know, like, there's movement on the front. Like, finally. Argentina declared war on the United States. Peru has been annexed. Are they the last 2? They are. Okay. They are the final 2. Wait, Argentina declared that war. 54 divisions for Argentina. Oh, only 38 for the United States. Really? That's surprising. That will change if they start losing the war. I would imagine they will. 239 factories versus 98 and 101 now. Still. That's... Oh, really? 26 military factories for the United States. Argentina has 41. The U.S. could lose. They could actually lose. It's totally possible. Very interesting. If the U.S. loses, that'll be the first time I've ever seen them actually lose. Like, ever. Imperium Romanum. And still invading. Getting into parts of northern Sudan now. They've taken Port Sudan. Which is a vital port. They've killed all the resistance here. They've invaded straight across. They've taken Tunisia. They're into Algeria now. Like, the north is falling very, very, very quickly to the Romans. Like, it's not Ethiopia's best divisions up here. That's for damn well sure. They're more down here defending this. Although it's about to widen out, and once it widens out, especially in southern Africa, like, the Ethiopians aren't going to have the units to hold a line. Like, the Romans can throw units at a line all day long and cover it as much as they fucking well want. Like, they can adequately man this Soviet front and man this front. But the Ethiopians just won't have the division count, I don't think. They have 23 again. But it's about to open up here. And they're battling it both in the north and the south. So they've got to man both lines. Although this one's not manned very well. This one looks like it could get surrounded if they're not careful. Jesus. Wouldn't that be something? Just hop in here. Just hop right there. Oh, no, you gotta fight him, I guess. Get more units over here and hop there and surround these 4 divisions and just wipe them out. And then you've got a free reign all the way around. Just do that. It's fine. Yeah, they've opened up this now. I feel bad for Ethiopia. They did so well holding the Suez until they didn't. Because they made a dumb decision. I'm surprised they haven't surrendered yet. Like, how close are they to surrendering? They have to be pretty close. Yeah, they're close, but they're not like... They're not as close as I thought they would be. I guess there is still organized resistance, somewhat. Their army isn't fully dead. They still have 40 divisions. So, I mean, you know. I guess they're not fully out of it. I don't know. Oh, they did surround most of these units here. That's not good. Because how many divisions do they have? They have one guy left here as the Romans try to kill him, and then they're going to move south. They got one guy defending this whole line, and he's running away. He's like, fuck that shit. He's like, no way in hell am I sticking around for that crap. Big dust storm, though, I guess. That'll hamper them a little bit. Here they come. Oh, Jesus. Most of their troops are trying to defend the capital at this point. Like, you can see the arc here of units attempting to defend. They could all get surrounded, too, if they're not careful. Oh, 2 encirclements here at Mogadishu. There's no port there, so they can't leave. They're just going to get killed. Oh, boy. That line hasn't really moved much. Argentina and the United States. Oh, that guy came back to defend. He's not doing a great job, but he came back. He did come back. And now he's got to defend. He's got to defend all these fronts. Oh, boy. New Zealand declared war on the Dutch East Indies. Well, maybe they'll actually fucking beat them then. God. Somebody's gotta. Look at the mess that Japan has here. That's such a mess. Like, good lord. Oh, they're fighting the Soviets in Malaya now. Yeah, that's not good for them. It's not going to work out in their favor. Excuse me. God damn. I don't know what the hell's going on with me today. Those 2 guys still haven't died that were in Mogadishu. This guy here could come down and surround them, though. Did they take Addis Ababa? Did they take their capital? I think they did. Yeah, they did. Now they're pushing them south. Where's their new capital? Oh, Pretoria. Of course. Why would I suspect anything different? They are getting closer to surrender. They're 82%. And there's a lot of industrial stuff in Nigeria that they're going to lose. Lagos, Porto Novo, Lome, Accra here. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Monrovia. Like, all these cities and stuff are going to cost them the war. And you've still got this northern contingent coming down. With only one guy defending against the whole fucking thing. He could get surrounded anywhere at any point. Like, honestly, he's not the best guy to send in for this. Oh, they surrounded a bunch of units up in the north here. Oh, that's not good. Ethiopia, you are crumbling. You are. The Soviets are fighting the Japanese. There's one little pocket there that's going to die. And then they're fighting the Malaysian Peninsula Corps here, too. Are the Dutch East Indies even still alive? I don't think so. I think they did capitulate. Oh, Ethiopia. My God. You're not doing good once you lost the Suez. Like I said, once the Suez was lost, that was it. That was the end of it. Now Ethiopia's done for. Like, look at all these units in Africa. Look at all this shit. They flooded in. I'm guessing they're going to declare war on Scotland before they do the Soviet Union. I would assume. I mean, Scotland has units. They have units in England, so, I mean, it makes sense. So Ethiopia's going to surrender here in a minute. So they have nothing defending this area at all. There's no units here. Like, none. Not a single division. They've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys on the front here. I think they surrounded and killed the one guy that was defending up the north there. The Soviet Union declared war on the United States. What a fucking war. I think the U.S. is winning this, though. I really don't know. It hasn't moved much. Just waiting for the Ethiopians to give in. Yeah, there they go. Now who? Oh, you are going the Soviet route. What about Scotland? I mean, they've got 7 divisions. Poorly supplied and poorly organized divisions. But still, they have them. Oh, wait a minute. The Soviets own Gibraltar? How many units do they have there? 1. It's losing terribly. I guess they have, like, Syria here, too, don't they? And this weird bubble. So this is pretty much it. Comes down to the two big boys. Will the Romans take out the Soviet Union, or will the Soviet Union come back and take out the Romans? The Romans are going to lose Indochina for sure. They have, like, what? A couple of divisions defending it at best. I don't even know why they're bothering. I would just get the fucking units out of there. Just retreat and run away. The Soviets are pretty tough. It's going to be a tough fight. Unit count-wise, 816 for the Romans. Select the Soviets. There we go. 359 for the Soviets, so about a little over double units for the Romans, but they could also be really shitty divisions. Factory-wise, the Soviet Union at 546, the Romans at 612. 280 military factories versus 249. So slight edge, but not a huge edge to the Romans there. If we look at equipment, the Soviets are down in pretty much everything. Not by a massive amount, but it's enough that it's going to be difficult to resupply troops. The Romans have a surplus of guns, which is going to help them resupply their troops for quite a while, actually. That's a lot of guns. They are down on artillery, support equipment, and light tanks, but not by a huge margin. In fact, I think artillery might even recover. Maybe? No, it's going to stick around minus 68. But it's enough where they can still probably resupply units once in a blue moon. Support equipment's going to hurt them quite a bit, though. That's definitely going to hurt their lines. Light tanks, I don't know how many light tank divisions they actually have going on, so that'll depend on that and how much action they actually see. It looks like the Soviets are having early gains in Europe, and the Romans are definitely having the gains in the Middle East. If the Romans can gain up to the Caucasus and into like Rostov and stuff, this European front could change direction, just due to Soviets wanting to defend their oil fields, what's left of their oil fields. Of course, Stalingrad's in here as well, and it would push them towards Moscow a little bit easier. This is definitely going to be more of a stalemate-y war, though, for some time, I figure. The Romans are actually defending Indochina quite valiantly. I'm kind of surprised that they've held on to it for this long. I figured they'd just abandon it. I think it would be smart to just abandon it. There's no reason to defend it. It's not strategically important at all. Like, it's kind of pointless. They're better off letting the Japanese harass the Soviets on coastal attacks with their large navy. You know, like land at Busan again or land in Shanghai or something. and kind of go that route rather than harassing them in Indochina with a contingent of units that could be on another more pressing front. But hey, who am I to judge, right? It looks like the Romans are pushing back a little bit in Europe now. They've taken some land up here in northern Germany, although you can see there are a lot of back and forth going on. A lot of back and forth. This front here is stalled out, the Middle Eastern front, and into the Caucasus. I think it's due to the Caucasus Mountains. They're having some trouble crossing them. I think once they can get some units around the Caucasus Mountains, they'll be able to, surround and envelop and retake. Same with like the Persian front, right? They are losing pretty heavily on that front. There is not a lot of green for them on that front at all, where it was one of their best pushing fronts. But the Soviets probably also reinforced it with a large bulk of their army because most of their army was in Asia. So, I mean, that's probably where the most of Soviets' divisions are at the moment. I don't really know. Again, we've seen the Soviets be on the brink of defeat, literally like units sitting outside of Moscow, and then all of a sudden they pushed back. So you just don't know on that one what could happen. And it looks like the Romans have cut off the Danish peninsula there. So they are pushing in northern Germany very, very slowly. They're pushing in the Ukraine quite a bit too. See, this could be the relief for the Caucasus front if they can push through Ukraine and isolate the Crimean forces of the Soviets. That could be pretty bad. It's hard to say how that will really go. But they don't. There's not a lot of units on this here at all for either of them. I don't really know what the hell their plans are. But hey, whatever. It's going to be a slow-moving front. Indochina still hasn't fallen. The Romans are actually pushing back a little bit. They've consolidated some of the land down by Saigon here because they had a big pocket kind of around here somewhere, but I think they've managed to... They're holding the line. I don't think they're going to be pushing anybody anytime soon, but they're at least holding the line. Denmark is falling to the Romans pretty swiftly. They've got some units up here. They're not surrounded because there's a port, but still, they've got units up there. And they're pushing into Copenhagen. Or at least they were. It looks like the Romans, they've taken Crimea. So they've linked up their European and their Caucasian fronts. So that's good. Because then they can supply it easier with troops that are needed. Is that a pocket? That's a tank. Oh dear. Well, that's not good for the Soviets. They just got a tank surrounded. Not good at all. I'm surprised the Soviets haven't been able to take out this pocket. I'm shocked that the Romans have kept a hold of that this whole time. Not much change here, although the U.S. has cut off this pocket. So that's interesting. Has there been any major... So they're up to 50 now. Argentina, 104. So Argentina still has double the units, but I assume they're really shit units. New Zealand was annexed. Oh no, Australia, why? Now they're at war with Ireland. They're going to travel all the way to Ireland and annex them. That's going to be quite the trip. I wish you luck. Good lord, Ooh, looks like they've pushed into... Oh, the Soviets made a landing at Malmo. The Romans have pushed into Scandinavia. That's going to be dangerous, too, because if they can get around Scandinavia and then threaten them from the north, they've got a threat from the north, they've got a threat from the European front, and they've got a threat from the Caucasian front. So that's really not good for the Soviets at all. Plus, they've still got to deal with this fucking pocket of dickheads that just won't give up. That area just doesn't make any sense, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Sorry about the pause there. Had nothing to do with a crash or anything. Just kind of forgot that I had to go get my laundry. Yeah, I didn't want some weirdo fucking going through it or some shit. Hate that about living in an apartment. Sucks. You don't know who the hell's gonna be, you know, going into the laundry room and going through your shit. But anyway, well, the Soviets have made a pretty successful landing at Malmo. They're fighting some sort of contingents of troops. There's 3 of them now fighting a defense force of Copenhagen, but it looks like the Romans are getting a little bit savvy and coming back to fight them on the line. They're smart. They try to kind of fight them here and then, go for Malmo, kick them out of Malmo, see if they can't surround a few of those units. How are the Soviets doing? 442. A lot. Still over 800, I'd imagine. 960 now, so they're actually creating more units as they go along. They are getting pushed back a little bit here. This here was farther out. They're getting pushed back in Kuwait and stuff. They do have a landing here at this port that has no name. I'm sure it does have a name, and somebody's going to yell at me what it is. But they have the Romans have made a landing there, but they are getting pushed back in Iraq and parts of near north. Can't talk. Just north of the Kuwait border, so that's not too good. They're also getting pushed back just in general in the Caucasus. They're not having a great time there at all. The Scandinavian front is still moving quite well. The European front seems to be slowly edging forward. It's just that front in the Levant that is for some concern. And it looks like they're addressing that concern. They've flooded some more units into that area to try and hold it. And it looks like they're either pushing back or at the very least holding on to that area now. So that's good. They've expanded in Indochina. They're actually pushing, which is fucking hilarious. That push will not last super long, I don't imagine, because I think once they get to this point here and go across to this port here, so it looks like, what is that, Rangoon to, not Hanoi, well, pretty much Hanoi. They open up into a much wider front, so that's not going to really work for them, I don't think. Plus, they also are going to have to deal with the Malayan Peninsula. So, yeah, once they get to that point, once they take Bangkok. So, I don't know how well that's really going to go, but hey, you know what? The fact that they're pushing is something, I suppose. But yeah, I feel bad for the Caucasus front. That is not a healthy front right now at all. It's a little bit concerning. And it looks like the Romans kind of realized that. Oh, what the fuck? Really? They're trying to invade... Okay. Oh, they have invaded. They've landed on this island in the Dodecanese. Wow. That's a bold play by the Soviets. Very bold play. To land there, just near roads. Sorry, just responding to a message there. Yeah, they're still getting pushed back here. It looks like the Soviets have backed off, though. They could retake a lot of this land if they're smart about it. Not the Soviets, but I mean the Romans. Yeah, they got pushed back pretty hard here. That Caucasus front is just not doing well at all. It looks like they're trying to bubble out here. Like, there's some heavy fighting going on here. I don't know if that's the Soviets' aggression or not, but it's a pretty nasty fighting area. I would not want to be there. Ooh, shit. The Soviets could surround that entire fucking army. That would be bad. That'd be very, very bad. I do believe Sevastopol is still under, that's under Soviet claim now. So the Crimea is now cut off by the Soviet armies. Like, fully cut off. like 100% cut off. The Scandinavian front's still doing fairly well. I mean, the European front in general is still doing okay. The Romans are starting to slow down on their advance, though. So I'm wondering if this is a Soviet turnaround. The Soviets are really, really good at that. They're very good at turning things completely around in their favor. But I think this is where it starts to really drag and become a very long, protracted war. So I think I'm going to pause it, and I will rejoin you when something crazy does happen. All right, an update on the situation. We have seen the Imperium Romanium regain their losses from the Caucasus, and they fully linked up this line. So there's not really much of a danger, unless the Soviets really do to come around and turn around, of that line being lost. It's pretty steadily pushing into Eastern Europe now. And the Scandinavian front has been holding, but it has not pushed very much. I mean, this is all it's pushed. Like, when we stopped, it was about here on a line to Stockholm. That's all it's pushed this whole time, and it keeps getting set back. So it's more of a defensive line to keep Soviet units out of Central Europe. That's more so what it's actually functioning as at the moment. I imagine as the Soviets lose units and more ground, especially coming up towards Moscow, they'll probably take troops off that front, and this front will gain some ground. How much? Don't know, but you can see they're losing bits, and they've lost a bit in here. They're just kind of fighting to keep that line stable. The line in the Levant kind of has been changing sides back and forth. I mean, you can see here the Soviets are now doing the push into Iraq and stuff again. They had pushed out to a considerable margin out to almost India to a point, but they keep kind of flip-flopping because units keep getting taken off of this front as it's deemed apparently just not important. You can see here that the Romans landed in India successfully and have created a front in south-central India now. It's more of a defensive front. They haven't really pushed too much. It was a surprise attack. They got up to this point before the Soviets really responded. So it's more so just a distraction defensive line to try and distract Soviet units from this line in the Levant, and from the main lines in pushing into south-central or southeastern Europe and into the Russian frontier itself. The front here is the most surprising and probably the most gained, as they were pushed into Saigon, a bubble in here, almost like the Pusan perimeter of the Korean War, and they've pushed out into China, southern China. They've taken all of Siam. They've linked up with the Empire of Japan on the Malaysian peninsula here. They're pushing towards Rangoon and into Burma, and pushing more into China itself. Japan's also helping out with at least a distraction by landing forces in multiple spots. They've landed some here. Their most successful landing has been the Dalian here, or the former Port Arthur, as the Soviets probably want to take back and recall it. Landing here in Shanghai has been moderately successful, though it's been like a 1 or 2 unit show, just as a distraction to take units off of the Soviet front. And this front here in Korea has also been fairly long going. They've been pushed back as far as just Busan Port, but then the Japanese somehow reinforce it again, and then they shove out towards the middle 38th parallel again once in a while. Generally, though, this is a distraction line. I wouldn't call this anything more than that. Most of the Japanese lines are simply just straight up distractions. Japan did recapture Taiwan, though. It was captured by the Soviets for a time, and then they recaptured it, and they've kept it throughout this entire conflict at this point. It's the only front that I'd say they've actually captured and kept stable. I always get worried about the Levant. This is probably the deepest they've pushed into it in quite some time, so we'll see how well that does. But I'm going to pause it again, and we will rejoin you later on when we see anything substantial. All right, so we are pretty much at the end here. The Soviet units have all but collapsed at this point. They've lost Moscow by far. They're still holding out in Scandinavia quite well, but they've collapsed in Asia. The Empire of Japan's even managed to consolidate quite a bit of Korea, parts of Manchuria, northern China, and getting close to Mongolia. Even some sporadic fighting on the islands here, and the mainland even here a little bit. But the Soviet resistance has all but ended at this point. And if we look at, there it is. If we look at their capitulation, they're 21%. towards. They've lost quite a few units and stuff as well. So if we hit play here, we're... Okay, so it crashed. I'm in totally accurate battle simulator right now, filming this last bit. Oh, they are not going to survive that. Just because I didn't want to wait for Hoy to load up again, and this game loads up almost instantly. So I tried to reload it a few times, see if the capitulation can go through. I even adjusted some stuff. I turned like Battle Royale off and all that kind of whatnot, but nothing seems to work. It's such a big surrender, and the game just can't handle it because the mod is not optimized super well. So it just keeps crashing. But that was pretty obviously the end there for the Soviet Union and the victory for Imperium Romanum. So good job, Roman Empire. You have conquered the world. Hooray, clap, clap. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all next time. Peace.